All right, guys, meet Jax. Jax is a 3.5-year-old Black Labrador Retriever. When Jax first came to stay with us, he had 0 attention span, 0 impulse control, lots of bad habits, and he was fat as a tick, okay? And we've got most of that lined out after 7 weeks of training. Let's go. This is kind of what it looks like. Up, up. First thing we had to do is we had to work on building his attention span, okay? And that was the toughest thing that we did, right? Okay, the second thing we had to do is we had to condition him physically to be able to keep up with the pace that we keep out here, because we do a lot of moving, a lot of running, a lot of climbing, a lot of swimming, just lots of stuff. And he was having a lot of trouble because he was so chubby, right? But once we got his attention span moving in the right direction and we got a little bit of weight off of him, got his cardiovascular system in shape, okay, then we were off to the races. And you can see now that he has mastered his basic vocabulary and his physical skills, and his attention span is doing great. You know, so I'm pretty happy with his progress up to this point. Wait, good, easy, very nice. All in all, he's become a very compliant dog. Super easy to motivate because he loves attention and he loves food. And with a lot of these Labrador Retrievers, that's kind of what gets them, you know, that's kind of what gets them in trouble, guys, is that when they're young dogs, they just want to party all the time. You know, they want to hang out and have a good time, and their owners love on them and don't hold them to a high standard when they're really young. And so then they just don't learn to have good attention span, and they don't learn to have good impulse control. And then something happens, like in this dog's life, its owner got injured, tore his quad, and so all of a sudden, you know, like having a dog that pulls on the leash and is super rude and doesn't have good impulse control became a really big issue, okay? So, like, as we go to think about sending him home, we have to make sure that, like, he's polite on a leash, he's got good manners, and his owner is not going to have to, like, do a lot of movement to influence him, okay? So you'll notice as I'm walking him, my head's up, my eyes out, I'm not pulling on the leash. I do have some treats available because I like giving them treats. And the great thing about treat work is you don't have to be in very good shape yourself. You can have a torn quad or a blown knee and you can still do lots of treat work, and that's really neat, okay? Now, so what we do is as we send him home, we're gonna put him on a little bit of a positive reinforcement schedule, and we're gonna kind of, come on Charlotte, come over here. We're going to do a lot of what we call situational training, where we have people come to the house, and what we're looking for is the dog to make good decisions, right? So, like, I have Charlotte come ride the scooter, and used to, this dog would chase her and bite at her shorts and knock her off her scooter, and now he's, you know, he's doing pretty well. Right? And so, like, I'm trying to transform these situations to where he looks at company coming to the door or riding in the truck or getting in the boat as chances to gain access to my approval, because gaining access to my approval leads to good things. Now, in the short term, those good things are represented by the treat work. Okay, the treat work is a physical manifestation of my pleasure. But over the course of time, we'll get enough successful repetitions in to reach what's known as the habituation threshold, at which point the dog's behavior will become internalized, and he'll just act that way because that's how he acts, you know? So that's always the key when you're doing this type of maintenance training. I have an owner who doesn't have a lot of physical skills at the moment, right? So we got to turn the dog training into a mental game, right? And so basically it's going to revolve around doing a lot of scenario training, where we present the scenarios to the dog in such a way that the dog wants to behave in order to win the game and gain access to his owner's approval, which equals access to the things the dog wants, right? So we're trying to teach 360-degree wins here, right, where the dog's better off, the owner's better off, and all the people that come in contact with the owner or the dog are better off, right? All right, I'll see you guys next week.